All right, at this moment, President Trump is on his way to Doha, Qatar. This is the second stop on his Middle East trip. He's on to the UAE next. But before getting on Air Force One, he met with Syria's new president, Ahmed al-Sharaa. He also announced that he will lift sanctions on Syria as the new government looks to rebuild.
I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness. Oh, what I do for the Crown Prince.
We've got team coverage on this for you this morning. Deborah Potter is tracking reaction in the Middle East from Tel Aviv. But let's begin with Natalie Brand over at the White House. Good morning to you, Natalie. This seems to be a dramatic shift in U.S. policy towards Syria. What do we know about the leaders' meeting and how it might impact the region?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. There had been hope for Syria following the fall of the Assad regime last year. But as you noted, this is a significant step announced by the president yesterday in Saudi Arabia to take initial steps to try to normalize relations between the U.S. and Syria, lift the sanctions. We know this also came at the urging of Saudi Arabia, the importance to them of trying to stabilize Syria and the larger region. So this morning, we did see a photo from the White House of that pull-aside meeting between President Trump, Syria's new president, al-Sharaa, and then the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman there as well. Press were not allowed in, but we did get a readout from the White House. The White House saying President Trump told Syria's new president he has an opportunity to do something historic with his country. Also had a list of items that he talked about, urging him to tell all foreign terrorists to leave Syria, help the U.S. prevent the resurgence of ISIS there, and also to sign the Abraham Accords with Israel. Of course, a big push during the first Trump administration with respect to Arab nations to try to normalize ties with Israel. I did speak to an expert with the Middle East Institute, Brian Katulis, talking to him about the significance of this announcement yesterday and what it means for the larger region. Take a listen.
The sanctions that the U.S. has had in place in Syria have really hampered the new Syrian government's ability to help the people of Syria stand on their own economically. They see increasingly Syria as this pivotal crossroads in the broader Middle East to help stabilize the state system and then, importantly, to counter the influence of Iran.
You heard him say counter the influence of Iran. President Trump meeting with Gulf leaders today during a Gulf Cooperation Council meeting in Saudi Arabia, according to Pool reports, told them that he urgently wants to make a deal with Iran, but that they must stop supporting proxy groups fighting on Iran's behalf in the region, Errol.
Yeah, Natalie, in that GCC meeting, the last item on Trump's agenda before jumping to Qatar, where he is set to arrive momentarily, what's on his agenda for that Gulf nation today?
Yeah, when he touches down, he'll head to the royal court, similar to what we saw yesterday in terms of this series of events, meeting between the U.S. and the delegation from Qatar, a ceremonial tea or coffee, bilateral meetings, a working lunch, some sort of signing agreement. We'll have to wait and see what exactly that is, and later a state dinner. But of course, as you mentioned at the start of the show, what's hanging over President Trump heading into this visit is the reports that he may accept this luxury jet, estimated $400 million from Qatar. That is in the face of a lot of security and ethical concerns by lawmakers over on Capitol Hill, even Republicans heading into this visit. President Trump was posting on social media defending his decision, saying it's a cost savings and that Boeing is behind on delivery of the new Air Force One.
Yeah, that's certainly one of the big headlines. Natalie Brand, thank you very much.